make sure we get this covered this evening, get everybody on their way.
Mr.
Okay,
Mr.
so
Chair, Mr. Chair, if you permit me to, I have to jump off soon. I'm glad that I got a reminder and I'm here and I have to jump off in the next 10, 15 minutes. So just want to let you know.
That's why we're trying to move it on right now. So we're going to call it to order. Yes, so now the time, Madam Secretary, if you could just, you ready, prepared to take the minutes? Okay, all right, we're now calling the meeting to order. The time is now 7:10 p.m. I want to thank all the members of the Executive Committee for joining this special meeting of the Executive Committee for Community Board 9. Just as an information piece, this is not a meeting in regular order. Typically, we are on hiatus for the months of July and August, but the board does meet in times, or we will convene meetings if there are matters of importance that have to be settled. So the one item we do have to consider this evening on the agenda is the authorization by the Executive Committee to hire for the vacancy of community assistant. So per our bylaws, that hire has to be authorized by the Executive Committee, which is why we're meeting this evening. But with that being said, I'm now going to turn it over to the district manager who will explain the entire process of what he needs from the Executive. Dante, the floor is yours.
All right, well, thank you for that. Thank you for laying out a little bit of the process for filling the vacancy. So as you all are probably aware, Khalid Nixon has left Community Board 9 and is now the Assistant District Manager at Manhattan 11. So congratulations to Khalid. But now we must move on and we need to fill that vacancy in the board office. So the process is actually it's quite simple. Our bylaws, as Fred says, you all need to give me authorization to start this process and make the selection for who's going to be working in the board office. So essentially the way this will work is that tonight, you all will have a discussion about the hire, the process. You all will hopefully give authorization to me to be able to start that process with OMB, where we have to send documentation about the job posting, how much we're going to pay the individual, so on and so forth. And then also with that process, we work with Borough Hall to disseminate that posting. So hopefully we can get a very diverse group of applicants. With that said, we're looking to fill this vacancy extremely fast. Right now we're in the summer hiatus for the board, and we would like to use every day possible that we have to catch up whoever is offered the position, and give them training, so on and so forth, so they can transition into the position, and hopefully they're pretty solid when we hit September and the board session returns. So the next thing is, so the only thing that really needs to happen here tonight is that you all on record give me authorization to start that process. The only thing that will happen thereafter is after you all give me the authorization, I will work with Fred so we can fill out a personnel action request form to OMB. I think you all should have received the job description. Does anyone on the executive committee have any questions about the job description?
I just have my comments I made to you via email. It's Warren. The other part is, could you just tell us who hires this person? It's not like hiring you, correct?
Right, yeah, the process for district manager is very different than hiring the community assistant. The community assistant hire is left to the discretion of the district manager. So I will be working with Mia to try to figure out, who would be a good fit in the office, who has the experience that we're looking for, and who has hopefully a good understanding of how government already works. That would be nice, but yeah, the decision is going to be left up to myself, and I will, consult Fred and I'll consult Mia, just so we make sure that we hire a perfect fit.
Okay, so in terms of questions, Mr. Almanor, I do see you, and Christian, I see you as well. So we'll take those. Go ahead. Mr. Almanor, you have the floor.
My question is, community associate is a civil service position, correct?
That is,
If so, is there, are these the list of people coming out of the civil service list from DCAS?
so I'm so sorry, say this again?
From D.
Community associate is a civil service position. Are
Correct.
these a list of people, potential hire coming from a established list from the DCAS, which is Department of Citywide Administration Services?
Yes. So, you know,
Okay,
what,
and I do believe this is also a union position under SSU Local 371.
that is correct. Yes, it is a union
What?
position.
Yeah, I
Yes.
used to be part of that union, so that's why a little bit.
Yes, so you know, we will be working with Borough Hall to figure out exactly the process that we're going to be taking. Seems that the process for hiring personnel has actually changed with new administration. And so since this is the first time we're going through this process this year with this new administration, I will be working with them once after the authorization to follow their guidelines to make sure that this is an appropriate hire.
Okay, Christian, we have you, and then Kyrie, I see you as well.
Thank you.
I'm gonna add myself to the list. I have one question.
Thanks, Dante. I don't have any issues with moving forward with the hire. I think it's great. I think it's important to do it as quickly as possible so that hopefully someone is there once we get back up and running again in September. My only question though is that the salary seems pretty low and the cost of living has gone up tremendously even in the last year. So is there ability from the executive board to if we wanted to change the salary either up or down, just out of curiosity?
No, that's a good question. And without a doubt, when the position became vacant, that was one of the things that I was thinking about was the salary. So the kind of the way that this works is because it's a civil service position, if we were to change the civil service title, different civil service titles have different salaries where they can max out. So with the community assistant civil service title, the max out is like $42,213. If we were to change that civil service title, it would likely be community coordinator, something to that effect. That salary maxes out, I believe it's like 86,000, and we do not have that in our budget at all. Unfortunately, in our budget, community assistant is honestly the only civil service position we can afford, and it's maxed out at 42. So we're hiring at the high level of that of the chart, but if we were to change the civil service title, our budget would be completely obliterated. We wouldn't even be able to do it, to be completely honest. I think that when we would submit the information to OMB, they would completely deny it because we don't have enough monies in the personnel services, even for that, if you're counting the salaries of myself and our assistant district manager.
And if I may, just a quick follow-up, what is the total compensation for all three positions in terms of salary?
That was a great question.
Let's see, the total, I will have to look, but I have the information. I will have to look at the number. It's not really, I usually would prefer not to speak salaries in open public because it's personal business. But I am more than—
then you don't have to. No, I think you're right.
But I would be more than willing
he's
to
right.
show you the breakdown.
Email it to us. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I agree with that.
Thank
All
you.
right. So Kyrie, did you have a question, or is it the same as Chris?
Yes. So I have actually two questions. One is a question, one's a statement. It was going to be more so along the lines of, do we have more flexibility in the budget to hire a more sufficient and more efficient worker? And I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, You
You
said the reason that we
cut out a
don't
little.
do community because they max out at 86,000.
Yeah,
My
I'll have to
apologies. Can you
get the
hear me?
number. Okay.
No, but that's fine.
Yeah,
The max of that is 80 something thousand, but we don't have to list it at the max, do we? Can't we list it at maybe 54 or 60K? So I guess that's what my follow would be. And I think that's what Christian was leaning more towards as well. I'm willing to do that as opposed to just asking for the bare minimum position and asking for that max or that cap. If that's open for you all, if not, I'm okay with that too. Secondly, it's not a problem at all. However, I just wanted to know, is this going to be the job description post that is going to be posted for us or on behalf of this role?
So
Like the description?
okay, yeah. So right now, I do not know that because this job description after the authorization is going to go to Borough Hall. So it's going to be incumbent upon me to work with Borough Hall to see if they tweak the job description. So I can't answer it.
Okay, so I would like to actually make a suggestion. Sorry, that's my little nephew. So my suggestion would be, I don't understand how it's a preferred skill that says is someone comfortable working in a diverse and LGBTQ friendly office. Personally, I find by wanting someone to be acceptive to working in a space that welcomes all from all walks of life, we shouldn't point it out because then I feel as though we're doing a disservice to others with opposing viewpoints. Just in my opinion, I don't think that that's a skill. Of course, you have difference and we have difference to make sure if we have anyone who is acting funny or who is not upholding the standards of loving everyone, all Brooklyn, then we just don't pick them. But I don't think that that should be written on the form, you know, because I just interchange LBGQ with Black or white or a female or male, and I just wouldn't hate for anyone to feel offended from CB9. That's my only point. I just wanted to know everyone's thoughts on that.
If I may just comment quickly, I'm using my phone, so I don't have access to. I agree with you because I was very surprised when I saw that on the posting. I've never sent it in a posting, and it is not necessary. So I think that that posting need to be tweaked and move it from there because it's not necessary. I don't know whose idea was that, but it's not necessary at all.
Hi, it's Warren. Are you saying, and I don't agree or disagree, are you saying that this may be better as a question for the interview versus the posting?
Honestly, what I was saying was to make it comfortable in the office thus far from whomever's there. Of course, we love our district manager, our assistant district manager, and all of the people working for CB9. Whoever had Dante knows, so he can, you know, use his discretion for that. I mean, in the event, if that's an interview question, I still don't even see the need for that to be an interview question because again, it comes off as being biased in some way. Again, let's just replace LGBTQ with Black or white or Hispanic or Asian. And I would dread if anyone were to ask me a question like this in an interview, especially if we're doing this for a community called Brooklyn, where we welcome and love everyone anyway. So that should be understood. And I definitely would not want to sign my name to any post that singles out any particular party, whether I'm a part or not a part at all. That's just my thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you, Kyrie.
All right. So just a couple of quick points. So I think it's to the point, to the point of the sentiment. I think we don't lose anything by taking that out because I think it's covered by all the other employment rules in New York City anyway. So that's definitely one of those. It probably shouldn't be. My gut feeling is it probably shouldn't be an interview question as well. That may run afoul of some other stuff. But definitely, I mean, I think Dante, we'll leave it to you, and we can work together as well in terms of developing interview questions that really kind of get to the root of what we're looking for. So that's fair, I think. So if you would make that notation in terms of you remove that language. With respect to the salary, I think that, on the one hand, I'm kind of like, well, do we really cap somebody out right off at the beginning? But then again, to the point that's been made, it's a low salary. The only thing that I think we should always be cognizant of is that really and truly the community assistant is a stepping stone. So I would, the expectation is that the person's probably not going to be there that long if they're that good. They're going to do like Khalid did, and they're going to get something later on. But that's good. That's good. I think we can treat them fairly. We can give them opportunities while they're here, and make sure that they can at least, have a living. I think, going up another title is just more difficult than anything else because we just really will never have the money to, they'll be on the low end of their band for as long as they're here. Which I'm not sure it's fair to them in that. They'll have opportunities. They can take civil service. They can actually try and bump up to the community associate and make themselves eligible in other ways. But I think it's with regards to the budget, that's kind of where we're at. And I think that it's fair in terms of, we can probably bring them in, in top band, at least on the top of that salary range. And yeah, I think Dante, really the main thing we need to make sure that we're doing for this evening is if we're comfortable with the general language, with that change, that text change that we just recommended, I think we authorize the job posting, subject to confirmation of the Borough Hall and Office of Management and Budget. I think we should authorize the actual amount for 42,000 as well. So we should put that should be part of the motion where we're authorizing the salary 42. So with that, okay, so Kyrie, I see your question, and then if we don't, we should probably move on and actually create the motion.
Okay.
Hey, guys, we have a hard stop at 7:30, so
That's why I'm trying to move it. Yeah, I know. So go ahead, Kyrie.
So let's,
Oh, well.
let's
Well,
make the
gentlemen,
motion.
Gentlemen. I was gonna just say that. I was gonna ask, can we just have a motion then? Because we're definitely not even gonna go to 7:30 if this is the only thing on our agenda. I
will look for you to
was
make the
gonna say
motion.
this,
Go ahead, make the motion.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion to change the job position to the next level, the next tier, which would be the community coordinator. And then we can decide on a lower, or maybe they can come in at the lower end of the fee. But I think 42.5 is too little of a salary, and we are for Brooklyn. No one can really live off of that and really do the best job possible. And us as CB9, as members, we can actually fight for someone to get better. And we do not know if next year we don't get even more money into our budget. I feel like that's not fair, and I personally wouldn't agree with that. So I would like to make a motion to change.
Okay, make your motion.
Alright.
You kind of like
What?
running off with explanation. That's not part of the motion. Please make the motion exact wording that you want me to write.
Okay, Linda, thank you for that too. But this is also the first time. Thank you. So I would like to make a motion to change the current job position to community coordinator, which is the next tier up.
All right, and at what salary, just so we can work on one motion? At what
Right.
Well,
salary?
that's
Oh,
at a higher salary, at a salary that's not capped out at 42.5. That's why I was being long-winded, because
Kyrie,
I
give a
know
number.
the salary we all would feel comfortable.
Kyrie, you have to give a number.
You gotta get a number. for it.
Okay, at 55,000, at $50,000, I'll try $52,000 actually.
all right.
Okay,
Give it
hold
a
on.
go.
We have the motion.
At what point can I make an amendment to that proposal?
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
hold on. This will go quicker if we let this happen. Is there a second first? Is there a second to the motion? Call for a second time. Is there a second to the motion?
I second it.
Okay, it's moved and seconded by Nicholas Hammond. Discussion.
I would like to make an amendment to that proposal on the that motion on the floor. We cannot go from community assistance to community coordinator. The assistance district manager, that is her title. If we are going to the title above, it's supposed to be community associate. Community associate is community assistant, community associate, and community coordinator. If we are moving so that
Frank, state your amendment, and then you'll have an opportunity to explain it. but let's move this. What is your amendment?
To amend the motion on the floor from community to community associate instead of community coordinator.
Whatever. Mhm.
Okay, so there is a motion to amend to community associate, you said that was?
I'm sorry, community associate. That's the level
Okay.
over community assistant.
Okay. Do we have a second for that amendment?
I second that. If that's what I was trying to explain, or to say, whatever the next
So
one was.
Okay, so you second that. So you find the amendment. Okay, well, actually, since this is your motion, you find the amendment friendly? Do you find the amendment friendly?
Okay, may I say something really quickly? Because you're saying, do we amend this? So that's why when I was initially asking.
No,
Hold
No,
on,
no.
this is the first one and we must, come on, this is what I've been doing for a year with you all. And it's like a rush process for no reason, right? So with that being said, what is the next, whatever the next one up was, I thought it was said that it was a community coordinator by Dante. Maybe I misunderstood or misheard him. But if it is community associate, that is what I would also too like to amend it to. If it's not community associate, then I do not want to go there. Okay. So which one is it, Fred? Can you tell me, please? That we're
If community associate was, Dante, community associate's the next step up, correct?
Right.
All right,
I
community
would like to
associate. Do you
amend.
find,
Yes.
okay. The amendment is found friendly. That is the motion now. So it's friendly, the motion is found friendly. So to amend the posting to community associate, and what was the motion, what was the salary amount, or did we put one?
$52,000.
Carlos said 52, right.
Okay, at 52, 55, what was it then? 52?
At 52,000.
At 52,000. Okay, so we have the amended motion. Discussion. Please raise your hands. I will recognize you. I'm going to put myself on the list. Who else wants to speak? Who else wants to speak? I'm sorry, Chris, I see you. And Dante will recognize you as well. Chris, go ahead, and then Dante.
I got to
And
run.
I'll speak after that.
I got to go, sir.
All right. Okay. All right. Fran has to leave. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I just want to say that if you guys are voting for assistant, associate, or community associate with the monies, I am in favor. I'm voting for it because I have to jump out.
You have to be here for the vote, though. But okay. But thank you. All right.
Right now you're having everybody else talking, and I have to.
Hey, guys, I gotta drop out of this meeting also. So
Can we take a
let's
vote
get to it.
because I have to go?
Can we just vote?
Can we call the question and vote?
Yes.
I call the question.
If there's members, no, if there are members who wish to speak, they have to be recognized.
Yes.
I got to go.
So, Chris, I saw you, and was there someone else? Who wanted to speak? I did want to say something. I think Dante wanted to say something as well. Chris, go ahead. We'll recognize you, and then Dante.
Thank you. I apologize, everyone. I did mention 2 days ago that I have a hard stop at 7:30 because I have another meeting that already started at 7:33. But my general thought is this: I like what Kyrie's putting forth because $42,000, even with roommates, you can't live like that. It's not enough, and the cost of living has gone up tremendously in the last year. The thing that I would like to see, though, in order to make an informed vote, is I would like to have a better understanding as treasurer in terms of how much money we have allocated towards not just salaries of personnel, but how much money we have in the budget. Then I feel like I could make an informed vote, but I would like to have that information. Thank you.
Okay, Dante, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to show you something really fast because it seems as if this is the thought. I'm going to show you this. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so These are the titles for community boards. So if we go to community associate and we say, I guess it was 52,000, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now that we don't have the money for that. And then because I'm almost certain that the position is unionized, they're going to have to go to their max salary without question, which the board does not have the money to do that. So I just want you all to be able to see this, so you can see it. The reason that we have community assistant is because we actually, with that salary, the 42, we can stay within that range with our board budget. Even with the difference in our salaries, we wouldn't be able to max out any of the other positions at all, which we would have to do by law because they're unionized. So I just wanted to make that note.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, Chris, I will see you. Well, actually, let me go first because we're supposed to get everyone gets to speak once, and then I'll come back to you, Chris, since you have. And I definitely have to echo that sentiment in terms of, as a city agency, we fall under all the city hiring goals. The issue we're going to have is, as a board, we can only hire up to the amount we have budgeted for. So I think it's disingenuous to say I'll hire you at a rate that goes up to 86 when we will never, even with any increases in board budget, we will never get anything close to that. So, and also I think that, in general, this is a much more junior position in terms of what we're bringing in. This is definitely one of the entry level positions on a board or in city government. This is where people come in and they learn and they work. Between the union negotiations, it'll probably be a little bit more. There'll be some wiggle room. There are union raises that happen. But I think in terms of what we're looking for, what the position actually entails, and again, I think in terms of fairness, it's one of those things we can't afford it, and I don't know if it's real. It's a good to even set that expectation for anybody who's coming in, because it's not realistic at all. I'm sorry. So Dante, Chris, I'm sorry, you did have a question. Go ahead. So yeah, listen, and just in the interest of time, so Chris, we're going to see yours, and then we're going to have to call the question. So we're going to have to vote on the motion. Go ahead, Chris.
My question is really to you and to Dante. When you say we can't afford it, what is the budget that we have for these positions? How do we know that we can't afford it? $42,000 a year is not something that anyone can survive off of, even with roommates in Brooklyn or any of the 5 boroughs. So what is our budget for personnel? And why do you say that we can't afford it? We haven't seen the budget.
Okay, so you have seen a budget. Our budget doesn't change that often. The budget that you received prior to the end of the year from me, if you look at the personnel services, you look at the information's there. It's public information. The number hasn't changed. The number hasn't changed. Community boards don't have large budgets. We're not fortunate enough to get extra expenditures year to year. We don't get money for performance. We don't get money for those things. This is, if you speak to almost every district manager in Brooklyn, any community board, they will tell you that one of the hardest things about staffing at a community board is because salaries are very low. We're talking about district managers who have been there for 15 to 20 years, and they don't make significant salaries that are competitive for them to stay, right? So like staffing is a real issue at a community board office. I understand it. I've made $35,000 working as a city council staffer. I understand what 42 can't and cannot do for you. I understand that. And I hate having to post a salary so low. But unfortunately, out of my control, out of your control, the budget that we get from the mayor isn't sufficient for large salaries to be able to go around for public servants. We just don't have that luxury, unfortunately. And now if I'm not on the board, but I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm the person, me and Mia, we're the 2 people that have to work with this person every day. So it's important that even as you all are discussing, and if you give the authorization, you do, if not, that's the situation. But I want to make sure that this hire is at my discretion, because this is a person that I'm going to be working with, I'm going to be relying on, Mia's going to be relying on, you all are going to be relying on. I understand the transparency, I understand the salary, I understand all of that. But honestly, what you all are doing tonight is creating more of a bureaucratic process for me to bring someone into this position.
Thanks, Dante. It's Warren.
Yeah.
No, I
Call
just
the
want to say
question.
something. No, hold on, Nick.
Well, hold on,
Kyrie
hold on, 1 second,
and
Warren, hold on.
Chris.
Let me just speak to this one point really quickly, just to Chris's point. So Chris, the issue is this, and I want to be very careful because I want to be respectful of people, talking people's pockets, their salaries, in this setting. It is public information, but I would like to be careful about doing that in this setting. But I can speak to this in terms of, we went through the process of hiring Dante. We went through the process of giving, of changing Mia's title for, in terms of giving her a raise, and also giving her the administrative, the assistant district manager title. And we also looked at Khalid's pay, because obviously, and I think we all agree, the amount of salary he was getting before was an issue. But all we could do was bump him to the max and stay within budget. The hard fact of the matter is, we do not have excess funds really on top of that 42. It's the hard fact of the matter. We don't have it. It's not available to us. It's an illegal hire if we try and even authorize something that's higher than, higher than what we have in the budget. Warren,
Okay.
I know you had a response. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a direction for both Kyrie and Chris. You guys have had this information for a couple of weeks, that this is the meeting, and you had the other day the job description. So I don't understand why you guys aren't researching what's available, because you can't pay more than what. No, Kyrie, hold on a second. You can't pay more than we have. All right, so I understand all the socialness and the positiveness, but if you don't have the money, you're not going to pay it. So the discussion is, okay, we have X amount of money. This is the position, and you approve it or not. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Warren. So I am very well aware. I'm sure Christian is as well, especially seeing as he's the treasurer. That's why he asked about the budget and how much money is there for the budget. We have had this information. I've read it over, and I've been waiting patiently, and as well as taking time away from my day to sit here and actually voice these questions and opinions.
Yeah,
So
but did
that's
you
what's going on
research
here.
the budget?
Okay. Quick, Warren.
Did you research the budget?
Order of the day.
Or was it just verbally?
Order of the day. Order of the day. Order of the day. Kyrie has the floor. He is speaking.
Political. It's
Order of the
nothing.
day. Warren. Kyrie has the floor. Let him finish his point.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I've noticed as a new person for a year waiting, and this is your moment, Warren, for you to hear this from me directly. You have a tendency of over talking people, and don't do this to me.
Okay,
It won't be polite.
Kyrie, please take your point so we can get to this. Warren, I have this.
It's not
Kyrie,
right.
please speak. Kyrie, please keep your comments germane to the motion.
You're right. My apologies, Mr. Chair. So back to what was just said in response for myself and Christian.
Warren. Kyrie, finish your point, please. Thank you.
As per Robert's Rules of Order, I'm supposed to address the chair. So thank you so much again. So to respond, this is the time where we were supposed to voice our questions and ask for everything. Again, what we don't know how much the budget is. If there is a personnel budget that is for 3 different members, we don't know who's maxed out at what. And again, I personally, it's not a no social thing. We are of Brooklyn, CB9, and all I was just asking is if we know we're maxed out at 42,000, that's so low, we can go to the very next tier. And even if we say it is 45, or I said 52 because I think that's ideal. However, maybe there is a way we can get there. That's all I was asking. If we're not able to do so, that's fine. That's why we're on the call to speak about it. That's all I wanted to say. And I'm sure Christian read the brief as well a week ago when it was sent, not 2 weeks ago. But either way, I'm sure he was very ready and prepared, as am I.
Okay, and I apologize. I'm having visual problems at this point. Was there anybody else that has their hand up right this point?
My hand is up,
Christian.
Mr. Chair.
Is that Christian?
Yes.
All right, Christian. Well, let me ask this because we're going to have to call the question on this. Christian, is there anyone else who's going to speak on this after this? After that, we're going to vote.
Warren has his hand
Anyone?
up.
Christian, Warren, we close on Warren. I would like to remind the members, please keep your comments germane to the question, the motion on the floor, which is for a community associate position at, I believe it was 50,000 roughly, and you know, the secretary has the correct information. But please keep your comments germane to the motion on the floor. Go ahead, Christian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Look, everybody, we're all in this together. We all want the same thing. We want to have a well-functioning community board, and we want to have people who are paid an adequate salary, and we want to do it in a way as quick as possible, because the quicker we get somebody in here, the better it is for not just the people that are staff, the staff that works in the office, but it's better for the entire community board. So we all want the same thing. To Fred's question about the motion that Kyrie put forth, I vote in favor of that motion. Absent of having clear guideline, clear information at the top of my inbox that shows what the budget is for personnel in our office, and if we've already maxed out others, and if there is wiggle room or not, absent that information, I vote in favor of what Kyrie is proposing, which is $52,000 and changing the title. And the reason for that is because $42,000 is very, very little. And I don't have information at the top of my inbox that shows me we're not able to up the salary. Now, I'm not saying that we can't, that it's not possible. Maybe it is impossible, but I don't have that information. I'm the treasurer of the community board and I don't have that information. So, you know, maybe the best thing is we reconvene at a later date if we can't find figure out how to get this done tonight, because I, for one, had a hard stop at 7:30 and I pushed it back to 7:45. Last thing I'll say is that the information on this position was sent out Friday at 4 p.m. I sent personally to the district managers a small edit because there's information that was incorrectly noted on that position description. It was noted as this was for Community Board 11 in Manhattan. So I reviewed the information that we had Friday at 4 o'clock. But I still don't have the information that I need. And so absent the additional information, I am voting in favor of Kyrie's motion. I'm signing off and I look forward to continuing to work with everybody. I think we do all want the same thing. Thank you.
You
Have a
can't sign
great
off
day.
until you vote.
Okay, Warren, we'll hear yours and then we are going to
Yeah,
call the question.
I just have a statement that the community board, okay, is based upon people doing their work. And if the treasurer, once he received this information, okay, and he looked at his past reports that he got, then, and I don't know if it's at the top of his inbox or the bottom of his inbox. The point is that if you have a question and you're coming to an executive board meeting, you should have your facts straight. And it amazes me that a treasurer, as well as Kyrie, okay, if he had questions about this, you would have researched the information and come to this board with an informed view versus coming to this board with
Please keep the comments germane. Please keep the comments germane.
That's it. The comments are very germane. We don't have the money.
No, it's about, okay, that's what your point is.
We don't have the money, and people are saying that we should see if we have the money. The reality is that based on the financial reports issued, and I believe there was one given in June, that we don't have the money. Thank you.
Call the question.
Yeah, we're calling the question at this time. Okay. All right, Matt, I can't, only because it's difficult for me. How many members do we have currently present? Do we have quorum? Do we have a quorum?
5. You have 5, so yes, right?
Yeah, there are 5 members. We have a quorum then. Okay. Now let me interject this. I don't want to see something go through that shouldn't go through, but I don't want to see something fail that shouldn't fail. To the point that's been brought up before, if there's information that we still feel is missing that we need to have to make a decision, perhaps it's more appropriate that we reschedule this and we come back and we can ask what information we need specifically to make a decision. So with that being said, I will entertain a motion to postpone
Yes.
until we, pending further information.
Motion
Does
to
anyone wanna
table
make
the
that motion?
question. I'll move to table the question for next meeting.
Okay, I have it moved by Mr. Almanor. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, a second by Kyrie Lane. All those members in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Are there any members in opposition? Please state your name for the record.
Warren Burke, no.
I have Warren Burke as a no. Duly noted. Is there any other members who wish to vote no in opposition? Okay, seeing none, are there any members who wish to abstain? Again, I call, are there any members who wish to abstain? Hearing none, the motion carries. The matter is tabled. We will work with the district manager. What I would ask for all the members of the executive committee to do, if you have specific questions or information you need to have in terms of that you feel is critical towards making a decision, please forward that to the attention of the district manager and CC me as well. That way we can make sure that information is delivered to the executive committee. And we will work to try and reconvene a meeting as quickly as possible. And I want to stress as quickly as possible because we want to make sure we get this position filled. As you know, there may be some time involved. We want to start the process as quickly as possible. Okay. All right. So with that being said, the motion is tabled. We have no other further business for the executive committee at this time. Please, everyone, keep an eye on your mailboxes for additional information, as well as a rescheduled date in terms of us reconvening to vote on the matter.
Mr. Chair.
Maybe this week.
Yes. Madam
So,
Secretary.
Mr. Chair, who would put that timing? Could we look at it now or would we leave it to the district manager?
In terms of, I'm sorry, what is
Timing for the next meeting, for the following meeting?
District manager.
Well, yeah, I think we want to see what questions are there because that'll probably dictate a little bit in terms of, you know, if we can get the information out quickly and how quickly we can reconvene. But we'll canvass the board. We'll canvass the board and find out what makes the most sense.
Oh, okay, but can I say this, please? Because at the end, no, there were no additional questions. Warren Burke is the one who said that we had questions and we didn't do research. That was not the issue. Everyone is a member of
No,
CB9 knows how much it is.
Kyrie.
There's no additional
Right.
questions.
No, Kyrie,
There's no
Kyrie, the motion's already been voted on. We're tabling the matter. So the only
Okay,
thing is if you
I'm
don't have a
not-
question, that's
okay.
fine. But for those members who did vote in favor, if there are questions outstanding, they will have that opportunity. We'll make sure we reconvene. We're going to
Yeah,
forward the
Kyrie,
executive
do
committee
your
that
research before you talk.
I've
Oh,
done my
Warren,
research. Warren, how
okay,
about you
order of the
being
day,
respectful?
order of the day. No one's been recognized by the chair. We are at the end of the business.
This cannot keep happening.
No.
All right,
Okay,
let's
Kyrie,
do
right,
a motion
we
to
are at
adjourn.
the end of the agenda. Yes. So at this
This is not
time, I
right.
will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I heard moved. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second,
Moved and seconded.
Good day to
All
you
those members
all.
in favor, please
Aye.
say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
I am
Good night,
opposed. I
everyone.
am opposed.
Have a good
I am
night.
opposed. Kyrie Allen is opposed. Opposed.
To adjourning?
Yes, because I really think we need to just say one thing, and this is what's been happening. This is my second year now, about to be going into my second. Warren
Excuse
has
me,
been
I
very
think- I think
Kyrie,
this
Kyrie,
meeting
I'm sorry.
Crazy.
Hold on.
You
Kyrie,
can
Kyrie,
adjourn.
let's do this.
No.
Let's talk offline. Otherwise, the motion to adjourn is carried. The
Okay.
time is now
Well, I
7:53.
still said
Let's
no,
talk
but I
offline.
lost. So we're going. Bye.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, and we'll communicate out.